Then when he got sick and did die, you felt it was your fault, and you couldn't cope with the sense of guilt. You tried to bury the memory of what had happened, but it always was there, Mrs. Cunningham, and it made you hurt yourself.
Hurt myself?
Well, for example, you didn't go out with boys. The reason you gave was that you were working so hard. Actually, you felt you had no right to. You avoided them because you were devoted to the memory of your father.
But I did go out with Gordon.
Gordon, yes. That was rather like trying to bring your father back, wasn't it? Gordon was a lot like your father.
Sometimes I felt just like a child with Gordon. But I thought I really loved him at one time.
Yet when he asked you to marry him, something deep within you rebelled. And when he was killed, you blamed yourself. Just you blamed.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Again, you needed love and protection. So you went to New York to Robert.
Robert. But why? After I married Robert, why did I want to run away from him? I remember wanting to just before I got so sick.
Because you were going back to your original pattern. You couldn't face being married to Robert, just as you couldn't face marriage with Gordon.
I felt it was wrong somehow. I felt like a child again.
Do you know that sometimes children are afraid to grow up? They can't let go of the love they feel for their fathers. But they can't remain with their fathers. They do grow up and they do marry. Because they learn that husbands and fathers can't be the same thing.
What did you say?
I said that husbands and fathers can't be the same thing. Now, can they?
No, they can't. It's strange.
Strange?
I mean, everything you've said seems to make sense. I feel as though I know it in my heart.
But you don't quite understand it all in your head? Don't worry, it doesn't matter. Look, for example, let me turn out the light. Now, it's dark in here now. That's how you were, in a dark room. And you wanted to turn on the light, but you couldn't because you didn't know where the switch was. But now you do know. You may never know why by turning that switch you can make the light go on, but you don't have to know why. As long as you know where it is, you don't ever have to be afraid of being in the dark again. You're smiling, Mrs. Cunningham.
I feel like smiling. Thank you, Dr. Kick.
By the way, there's going to be a dance Wednesday night. Why don't you go?
You mean anyone can go?
Oh, no, it's very exclusive. Restricted entirely to patients at Juniper Hill State Hospital. Oh, and members of the staff.
Why, I think I'd like to go.
Hey, Virginia!
Oh, hello, Ruth.
I want a cigarette. Got one?
Here.
Thanks, honey.
Just a minute. I thought you said one. Two's all I have left for the whole evening.
Okay, one then. My, you've certainly changed.
I was watching Virginia Cunningham. She had come to the dance with Hester. Hester, the girl who never talked. I saw her sit next to Hester and smile encouragingly. But Hester's expression didn't change. It never changed. Then one of the men came over.
Well, little lady, may I have this dance?
I'm terribly sorry, but
Then how about your girlfriend? Hi, gorgeous. Come on, little lady. Let's dance.
let her alone.
What's she so sore about? Hey, what are you trying to scratch me for? All I did was scratch.
Let her alone. That's the way she is.
Oh, she must be nuts.
It's all right, Hester. Don't be afraid. Nobody's going to hurt you. I won't let them. Oh, say it, Hester. Don't be frightened. Oh, Hester, when I first came to the hospital, I was just like you. I guess I'd still be the same way if it hadn't been for someone who kept talking to me and made me feel I wasn't all alone.
Having a good time, Mrs. Cunningham?
Oh, yes, Dr. Kick.
Now, look, girlie, I got it all figured out, see?
I'm sorry, but I promised this dance to somebody else.
To him? Okay, but you'll be sorry. Well, what are you waiting for? Go on, dance with him.
Dr. Kick,
I'd be delighted.
I'll be right back, Hester. I hate to be a nuisance, but could we stay close to Hester?
Of course. They tell me you're the first one Hester's ever let come near her.
I don't know why. Maybe it's just that sometimes a sick animal knows better how another sick animal should be treated. You know, Doctor, it isn't fair. You know everything about me, practically, and I don't even know your first name.
It's Mark.
Mark.
Just to the hospital. We get along very nicely.
Any family? Brothers? Sisters?
Now, look, you may be getting well, but you're not well enough to question your doctor.
Can we sit here? Then I can watch Hester.
Oh, that's fine.
You know, I think I am getting better. For one thing, time doesn't pass as fast as it used to. And then you get selfish again. I mean, if you have 3 cigarettes, you don't give away 2 as you used to.
Yes, some selfishness is a good sign of sanity.
And there's another thing.
Oh, what is it?
I'd rather tell you some other time.
Then I have something to tell you.
What is it?
You're going to staff again. And this time I'm recommending it. I think you'll be going home soon, Mrs. Cunningham.
Home.
So you're going home, Virginia. Outgoes 1 and income's 5. Sure wished I knew where it's all going to end.
I'll tell you where it's going to end, Ruth. When there are more sick ones than there are well ones, the sick ones will lock the well ones up.
I'm not so sure they'd like it here.
Ruth, take care of Hester, won't you?
Sure I will.
Miss Vance, may I say goodbye to Hester?
Go ahead. No, ladies, you've all said goodbye, so just go about your business.
Wonder what that kind of business it is.
And I'll come back to see you, Hester. I will. And meanwhile, your doctor will talk to you. Don't be afraid to talk, and you'll get well, too. Goodbye, Virginia. Oh, Hester, you talked. I knew you would. You're going to get well now. I know you will. Goodbye, Hester.
I'm waiting for you, Mrs. Cunningham, so I'll say goodbye now.
Dr. Kick, will you come and see us sometime, Robert and me?
Why, yes, of course.
You know you never will.
But if ever you feel you want to talk to me, you know where you can find me. Goodbye, and good luck.
Dr. Kick, remember at the dance, I was going to tell you another reason for knowing I was getting well?
Yes?
It's that I'm not in love with you anymore.
You never really were, Virginia.
Virginia, how can I tell you? How can I say how happy I am? What this day means to me, to us.
Just hold my hand, Robert, while we go through the gates. Robert, what happened to my wedding ring?
I kept it for you.
May I have it?
Sure. Been in my wallet all this time. Here, darling.
Would you put it on again, please?
It was a long time.
Say, folks, that's your bus out there. Or don't you care?
Don't we care? Come on, darling. We're going home.
Now, here's Mr. Keeley with our stars.
Now, here are tonight's stars, taking a curtain call for one of the most wonderful performances we've ever been privileged to hear. Olivia de Havilland, Mark Stevens, and Leo Genn. Olivia, of course, we want to add our congratulations to those you've already received on winning the Academy Award for a second time for your performance in the Paramount picture, The Heiress.
Thank you, Bill. The part was a great challenge, and everyone has been very kind.
And then, just yesterday, it was announced that you received the annual award of the Women's National Press Club as the outstanding woman in the theatrical field, an award to be presented to you in Washington next Saturday by the President of the United States.
Naturally, Bill. I'm very grateful to the newspaper women of Washington for this honor.
You know, the heiress was very prophetic for Olivia.
How's that, Mark?
Well, she became the heiress to just about every award that an actress can get.
Well, you're all going to get an inheritance tonight because we have some Lux Flakes for you to take home.
Oh, Bill, believe me, at my house, they're a must.
Leo, we're delighted that your return from England was just in time to get here for rehearsals this week.
I'm delighted, too. It was such an unexpected pleasure to be with both you and Mark again in the Snake Pit.
And now, Bill, will you tell us about next week's play?
One of the screen's recent prize comedy hits, Mark. The RKO picture, Every Girl Should Be Married. And the stars are, of course, the ones you saw on the screen, Cary Grant and Betsy Drake. This is one of Cary Grant's most engaging comedy performances, and it's the picture that made Betsy Drake a star.
We'll all enjoy hearing it, Bill. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, and come back soon.